The wind howled like a beast that night, clawing at the windows of the small cabin on the edge of town. Snow fell in thick, angry sheets, erasing roads, cars, and any trace of the world beyond. Inside, Jack Turner tightened his arms around his 8-year-old daughter, Lily, who slept soundly against his chest. The fire crackled low, the last log nearly gone. He whispered a silent prayer that the storm would ease before morning. That's when, through the blinding snow, came the sound that made his heart stop. A knock. 3 desperate, uneven knocks on the door. For a second, he thought he imagined it. No one should have been out there in weather like this. He stood, careful not to wake Lily, and crossed the room. The knocks came again, louder this time, more frantic. Jack hesitated, then opened the door. A woman collapsed into his arms. Her face was pale, lips blue from the cold, her coat dusted white with snow. She gasped for breath, barely able to speak. "Please, help me." Jack didn't ask questions. He brought her inside, wrapped her in a blanket, and set her near the fire. She shivered violently, her hands trembling as she tried to hold the cup of tea he gave her. "Storm came out of nowhere," she said weakly. "My car slid off the road." "You're lucky you found this place," Jack said, tending to the fire. "We're miles from the main road. I'm Jack. This is my daughter, Lily." The woman's eyes softened when she saw the little girl curled up on the couch. "I'm Claire," she murmured. "Thank you for letting me in," Jack smiled faintly. "No one deserves to freeze out there." That night, as the blizzard roared outside, the 3 of them sat together by the fire. Jack noticed Claire's hands. Soft, manicured, the kind that didn't belong to someone used to rough winters or small-town living. But he didn't ask. Everyone had a story, and sometimes it was best to wait for them to tell it. By morning, the storm had buried the cabin in snow. Roads were gone, power lines down. They were trapped. Jack didn't complain. He'd faced worse. Years of doing everything alone since Lily's mom passed. But having another adult there, someone kind and gentle with his daughter, made the cabin feel less empty. Over the next 2 days, Claire helped around the house, cooking, reading stories to Lily, laughing softly at Jack's clumsy attempts to fix the old heater. She was elegant but not arrogant, smart but humble. There was a sadness in her eyes, something deep and unspoken. One evening, as the storm began to quiet, Jack found her staring out the window. "You look like someone who's got a lot on her mind," he said. She smiled faintly. "Maybe I do. Running from something?" he asked gently. "Maybe," she admitted. "Or maybe I'm just trying to remember who I am." They talked for hours. She told him she worked for a large corporation in the city. Long hours, endless meetings, no real connection with anyone. "I used to think success was about control," she said quietly. "But lately, I'm not so sure," Jack nodded. "Control's overrated. Life's messy. You just do your best and love what you have left." His words lingered in her mind long after the conversation ended. She watched how he took care of Lily. Patient, selfless, always putting her first despite his exhaustion. It was the kind of love money couldn't buy. When the storm finally cleared and help arrived, Claire stood by the doorway, hesitant to leave. "I don't know how to thank you," she said. "You don't need to," Jack replied. "Just get home safe." But as her car disappeared down the snowy road, Jack couldn't shake the strange feeling that their paths weren't finished crossing. 2 weeks later, Jack stood outside his workplace, an old factory that produced furniture for a big company headquartered in the city. His hands were cracked from cold and hard labor, his paycheck small but enough to keep food on the table. He never complained. Work was work. That morning, rumors spread that the company's new owner was coming to visit. Everyone scrambled to clean up the place. Jack didn't care much. Whoever she was just another executive who'd never set foot in a worker's shoes. But when the black car pulled up and the woman stepped out, Jack's heart nearly stopped. Claire. She stood there in a tailored coat and boots, every bit the powerful woman she had never mentioned she was. Their eyes met, and the world went still. She walked straight to him, a soft smile curving her lips. "Jack," she said quietly, as if they were the only 2 people there. "You—" He shook his head in disbelief. "You own this place?" "Technically, yes," she said with a small laugh. "But maybe I needed that storm to remind me what really matters." The foreman and other workers stared, confused, whispering. But Claire ignored them. She took a deep breath and looked around. "This company's been running like a machine," she said loudly. "That's going to change. From today, we take care of our people, the ones who give everything and get so little back." Applause broke out. Jack could barely speak, still trying to process everything. Later, when the crowd dispersed, Claire turned to him. "I never forgot what you said," she whispered, "about doing your best and loving what's left. You saved me, Jack, not just from the storm, but from myself." He smiled, a little embarrassed. Guess we both needed a rescue. Over the following months, the factory changed. Wages rose, working conditions improved, and Jack found himself promoted to supervisor. Claire visited often, not as a boss, but as a friend. She spent time with Lily, bringing her books and toys, filling the cabin with warmth again. Slowly, something grew between them, unspoken at first, but real. One evening, as the snow fell softly outside the cabin once more, Claire sat beside Jack by the fire. "Funny," she said, smiling. "The night we met, I thought I was lost." "You weren't," he replied gently. "You were just finding your way home." And in that quiet cabin, where one storm had once brought them together, they finally found what both had been missing: family, love, and a reason to believe that even in life's coldest blizzards, kindness can light the way home. Would you like me to now craft a YouTube SEO package? Description: hashtags, tags, and keywords for this exact story to help it go viral?